This is WT for TST, and this evening we're honoured to be joined by Chantelle Cameron. How are you doing?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
Very well. You are our first lady guest. You're honoured.
Nice one.
Right, so where we like to start, first time on TST, is just going back through your childhood and ultimately what makes you you before. Sometimes you look at boxers and you just want to talk about boxing, but actually what we want to do is try and find out more about you first. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
So you were born in Northampton?
Yeah, I was born in Northampton in a council estate. So most people in Northampton, where I come from, they always used to look down at where I grew up. It's called Eastern District. So I used to always get backlash for growing up in the Eastern District. But as we got older, me and people in the Eastern District used to say, we're best off coming from the Eastern District because at least we'd learn how to handle ourselves and stay humble as well. So I'm actually really proud of where I come from because a lot of people, even teachers, used to always say, if you're from the Eastern District, you're never going to make it in life. And now I always think, like, as much as you just said that, it doesn't matter where you're from. You can make it from anywhere where you come from. So I'm really proud of that because the amount of comments I've had and digs and stuff from even friends that were from different areas and school teachers coming out with things like that. I just so they make out that you're scummy people, but it's just an area. And to be fair, you learn how to survive. I think if you're from a rough area, you learn more lessons. You learn life lessons that you wouldn't exactly learn if you're from elsewhere. So I'm really proud of where I'm from.
You want to take that green belt back into school, right? And hopefully the things are still there and go, have some.
Honestly, I can remember I was in school, I was in a psychology lesson, and the teacher said, I'm going to end up 16, pregnant, and stacking shelves in Tesco. And I'll never to this day forget it. I'll never, ever forget it to this day. I got my own back, though. Twat.
You know what, though? And I've got nothing against teachers, by the way. There's teachers in the family and stuff. But sometimes, like, that's what a bad thing to say to somebody that's...
It was honest. I couldn't believe it. And it was in front of the whole class as well. I was absolutely fuming.
You've got to be strong, haven't you? Yeah.
What's that?
You've got to be strong character to be able to go, do you know what?
I couldn't believe it. I was like, literally, as if a teacher come out with that to me in front of a whole class of people. Like,
and use that as a reverse to then go
yeah.
forward. So what's this I hear about your childhood? One of your main things in your childhood, correct me if I'm wrong, I hadn't checked this off camera so it could embarrass me. You were a massive fan of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, yeah, massive. I used to watch the series all the time.
Is that what got you like into martial arts and stuff? Or?
Yeah, that's what got me into kickboxing. I used to watch all the TV series. And I remember one of my best friends, she lives like next door to me. She used to be obsessed with it as well. And Angel, because there's Buffy, and then they brought out a separate series called Angel, which was her boyfriend in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So I used to be addicted to watching that, slaying vampires. So like we'd have sleepovers and just like literally just rewatch all the series all the time.
Buffy parties. And then you went into kickboxing, yeah? Tell us about that then, because you did really well in kickboxing, didn't you?
Yeah, so I went into kickboxing, stemmed from Buffy really, because I used to always go out and pretend that I was Buffy the Vampire Slayer and beating all the boys up. And then I remember I was at I've never really done like summer camps or anything, but one year my mum and dad had me at some sport, it was in the school holidays, had me at some sport camp. And to be fair, I weren't really sporty when I was younger. I played football and like always playing out. I was more like climbing trees, playing stuck in the mud, like just like games like that, but never really actually that sporty. So it was quite random that I went to this sport camp thing. And I can remember when I was playing all the sports, I was just sat there like I don't want to play. And then there's like, what do you want to do? Then I was like, I just want to fight. And I was like, we can't fight here. And I was like, what about kickboxing? What about doing kickboxing classes? And I was like, well, where's that then? And they gave me the details. I remember they spoke to my mum and dad about it, but there was no way she doing kickboxing. And I begged them. I kept on making a big fuss about it, saying, let me go kickboxing. And then in the end, my dad broke down for me and he was like, go on then, just to show you, take you. And it stemmed from there.
I was going to ask you that about your parents, actually, because I've got 3 girls, and the middle one, I'm going, oh yeah, come on, let's take you boxing, we'll get you fighting. And my wife would never, nothing. No, she'll get her. So it was never a serious conversation, but I bet it was for your parents. So is Dad the supportive one, and Mum was like that? Or does she watch your fights now?
Yeah, like none of them really wanted me to do it, but I just kept bugging them for it. So I just went shut up, and then in the end, my dad was like, "Look, I'm just going to take her." And it's mainly my nan that was like, "Girls shouldn't be fighting. You shouldn't be kickboxing. You're a girl. You shouldn't be punching or being punched." And my mum, all I can remember is growing up, my mum keep explaining to my nan that it's what I wanted to do. So yeah.
And how is your mum now with it? Does she watch your fights and stuff?
Yeah, she gets really nervous though, so she doesn't really come to the live shows, but she'll watch at home.
And then you
cams, and she have a few bevers, and then get a bit of confidence and watch me.
I bet it is weird for her, like, to be fair. And then
yeah.
So how did you move from kickboxing into the amateurs boxing?
Basically, because I was there's nothing happening in kickboxing for me. It went dead because there was no one for me to fight, and my kickboxing coach was like, I advise you to go into boxing because women's boxing was just announced it would be going into the Olympics. So my coach said, go boxing and go get yourself a career where you ain't going to have to work. And obviously I was thinking, I'm not going to be any good at boxing. You weren't expecting to get on Team GB within a year, but it happened and never looked back.
And what was that like, boxing for the country? What was that feel like?
Yeah, it was unreal. It was a great experience. Travelled the world, gained loads of experience, seen loads of things. So very lucky and grateful.
Good stuff. So I guess silver and bronze, is that right? You won a silver and a bronze, didn't you?
Yeah, in the EUs.
Yeah. So what's that experience like?
Good, yeah. It was so long ago now, I can't really remember it. I weren't really suited to the amateurs, so I'd kind of put the amateurs behind me, really.
So, all right, then let's go to pros then. So you turned pro.
Yeah.
And what was the main difference you found then? You said you didn't really like the amateurs. What was the main difference in the program?
I could actually fight how I wanted to fight. So you can sit down on your shots. You can fight inside. You're not going to get broken up every second that you get close, and you can't really throw body shots and stuff because it's already tippy-tappy. Longer rounds, smaller gloves, just a lot more suited.
Good stuff. And then probably nowadays when I'm seeing kind of you always see Jamie Moore as well, and you two seem to have such a good relationship. How's that working out, being in Manchester?
Oh, it's brilliant, yeah, because they know, especially now we've had 5 fights and grabbed the world title within our 5th fight, and we just gel, yeah, it works. I used to love his style of fighting as well, and that's what like the style that I want, so it just makes sense.
So you were like a fan of his before then, yeah?
Yeah, I loved his style. So aggressive but smart.
Does he know that? Does he play on that a bit? Yeah. and then the next bit, I guess, is so your last fight when you won the title. The build up to, I can never pronounce her name. Arajo, I think it's.
Yeah.
How did it make you feel when she didn't make weight? What was that? Because that was quite a big thing, wasn't it?
Well, I knew that I was still in line to win the title, so kind of was like she just showed that she's not that hungry for the belt. If you're that hungry, you'd make sure you made weight, regardless of how hard it is. I think it's mind over matter. Like, you'd make the weight. Obviously, she had it. If you're shredded and you got nothing on you, you can understand where you missed the weight. But she had time to prepare. We had check weights and she made all the check weights. So I don't know how she didn't make the weight, because like, without no disrespect, but it weren't like she had no fat on her. She was there to lose the weight. So obviously it was frustrating, but at the same time it was just showed me that I wanted it more. So
were you worried though that she obviously had? I know you were the only one that could win the title at that point, but were you worried that the fact that she would have more weight on you or not bother you?
Obviously I knew she could whack anyway, so I thought, oh Jesus, she can whack already. She's gonna have about a stone on me. So I knew that it was a massive threat, but just I'm confident that I can take a good shot, and I'm confident that I can get myself out of trouble. So I just thought I'm going to win the world title, and that was that.
And you did it.
Yeah.
You did it. So what's next for you then? Unification?
I'm waiting for it to all be finalised and announced. But yeah, it's going to be unification.
You staying at this weight?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff. Right, so just to finish them, we're nearly done. It's quite a quick one. This we'll rattle through. There's a couple of, how we normally finish, there's a few questions from the followers or the viewers. So I've got Frankie, who wants to know, you stepped up in weight as you didn't want to wait around for Katie Taylor. Can you see that fight ever happening again?
Well, I literally, I don't know. She's doing her thing, I'm doing my thing. Obviously, I've made it clear I want that fight. And she says that she'll fight anyone, blah, blah. And I think I know that I haven't got the profile. She's got a massive profile. But then I think the Spanish girl she's boxing the weekend, what's her profile? She was offered to fight me twice and she never took the fight. So I think I've got no profile and all that, I just think you can't say that, because the people you're boxing have less profile than me. So it doesn't make no sense. I'd love the fight to happen, but I'm not gonna hold my breath on it. At the end of the day, I've got my own career. I prefer to go back down to lightweight, because I think that's a better weight for me. But Katie's got all the belts, and I'm not going to get to fight her. I'll have no belt, so I've got to keep it moving, and that's what I'm doing. Move it to super lightweight and go get all the belts up there. And if the fight with Kate happens, it happens. But realistically, I don't think it's going to happen.
It'd be massive if you can get all the belts and then do a catch weight, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Big fight anyway. But right, okay. I think we've answered this next one, but Paul wants to know: was your mum and dad against their little girl boxing?
Yeah, definitely. They was to begin with. My mum's still now is kind of like, God, when are you going to finish? I want grandkids. And I'm just like, Mum, chill out. Trying to earn some money.
Well, I guess that's it. Family and stuff, isn't it? Because I never really thought of that before, but you'd have...
Yeah, like I'm 30 next year. And obviously I do want a family. It's all I've ever really wanted. And I'm cracking on a bit now. So I just need these big fights.
Get some finances, yeah. So what is it? Have you got like a plan? Do you have like a life?
So what's that?
Do you have like a life plan? Do you have like, all right, at 32 or 33, that's it for me, and I'm going to go do the family stuff or not?
So I used to, before 2016 Olympics, I used to like plan my life out, but now I just go with the flow. I've had setbacks in my professional career with changing teams in 2018. This year, Corona, so I've kind of wasted a year of my career already. So I think I'm not setting no life plans. I think when I start knowing that boxing's taking a toll on my body and my mind, that's when I'll call it a day. But as long as I'm feeling good, I'm winning, and I'm mentally in a good place with boxing, and I'm not taking fights just for paydays, then I'm going to keep going until I can't box anymore. But at the same time, I want to be smart about it as well. I don't want to be boxing for paydays and boxing with not the ability to win. Like I don't want to lose the hunger and the drive that I have now just to earn money. Like I'd rather not do that. I think as soon as I start feeling that I'm going backwards or my body's not up to it anymore and I'm not up to it, then yeah, I'll be calling it a day.
Good stuff. Yeah, good attitude. Right, and there's one question that we always finish with. There's a story behind it, but I won't bore you with it, right? It's a simple question. You boxers absolutely love this. Right. What are your top 3 chocolate bars?
Galaxy.
Oh, straight in. Is that number 1 or number 3? 1 or 3?
Okay. Reese's.
Yeah, Reese's Pieces.
And dairy milk, but in the fridge.
Cold dairy milk?
Yeah, it has to be cold.
Cold dairy milk?
Cold, it has to be cold. That's the only chocolate that has to be cold.
Just that one. All right, that's great. Right, and that's me done. So is there anything that you want to say to the viewers or any of your sponsors?
Thank you to all my sponsors. Obviously, without my sponsors, I wouldn't be in the position I'm in. They keep me training full time, and yeah, just a massive thank you to them for supporting me, and thank you to all the people that do support me and watch me fight. And can't wait to be back in the ring again.
Just not your mum.
Yeah.
Right, Chantelle, thank you very much for joining us, and we'll speak to you
you
soon. Thanks a lot. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.